Hi guys, Scapegoat Stephen. We're here at SmogCon. After a slight detour, we managed to get in at about 10:30 last night. So we signed in, got our passes and our lanyards and all that sort of stuff, including some nice official SmogCon dice. So basically just go through the idea of the video. This is just going to be a video diary rundown of what I'm doing each day. It'll probably just be a recap at the end of the day. Just to let you know what I've been up to, what's been available to people who've come. At the moment I'm looking at doing a high command release event this morning, which is Friday. It's just gone 6 AM, but we woke up due to a dodgy alarm, and well, we're awake now, so fudge it, we might as well go out for breakfast early before the rush hits. So yeah, high command release event this morning. Then I've got a bit of pottering around in the afternoon, probably a bit of Iron Arena with my mercs, get some practice. Then this afternoon slash early evening, I think we're in a high command release event for Invasion of, no, not high command release event, an Invasion of Sol event for high command. Then we'll probably do a little bit more messing about, perhaps in the Iron Arena. The keynote for SmogCon is towards the end of my high command event this afternoon evening, I think. So we'll hopefully be some nice juicy tidbits about hordes in that. Tomorrow I'm quite foolishly signed up for Iron Gauntlet, so we'll see how that goes with my mercs. I'm going to be running Damiano, Gorton and Osram. I've had reasonable out practice with most of the lists. Damiano I'm a little bit shaky on, but we'll see how it goes. He's a reasonably straightforward caster. Depends on what matchups I can drop him into. And Sunday I'm actually PGing the last Gasp tournament, so that'll keep me busy hopefully most of the day. So yeah, it's going to be hopefully a fun time. The hotel, very nice. Too nice for us as wargaming types, I think. Perhaps premiering or a travel lodge next year. That said, John's done a great job of securing pretty reasonable rate for the hotel. I think it works out to about 50 quid a night including breakfast. So yeah, I'll have to let you know after breakfast if breakfast was worth that tenner. I'm pretty sure it will be though. Okay, so that's it for my first morning report. Like I said, I haven't really got anything else to tell you, but hopefully I'll be back later on with reports how high command and my first foray into the Iron Arena went. Right, hi guys, Scapegoat Stephen. This is actually day 2 of SmogCon. I failed miserably to do an update day 1 because I was busy and I was very tired come yesterday evening. So what have I done? On Friday, did a lot of high command. Did a release event in the morning. Got a choice of promo cards. So I ended up going with a Cassius the Oathkeeper for my circle, because there weren't any Faith and Fortune alternate art cards yet. Please PP. Anytime soon would be lovely. Love some Faith and Fortune alternate art cards. What else? In the afternoon I ended up getting roped in last second to help with a staff scramble. To play in a staff scramble because there were a guy short. Played against 2 other guys. Foolishly threw in Magnus 1 tier 4, 35 points. So I lost with a big grind to the Kalisa Force Wall tier. I think it was a guy called Andrew. And then I played a game against a guy, I really can't remember his name, but it was a double galleon Bart list with Tarin and Dougal, I think it was. I killed a galleon. Unfortunately, I did the damage over both the galleons instead of 1 galleon, so I killed half of 2 galleons with the flanking, charging, absolutely mental Cav. Then in the third and final round, I got to play against Ed Burrell, which was really nice. He's a really nice guy, really friendly. He was playing Crix, he was running Morton Ebra. I think he was running Malice, a Reaper, Black Goblin Boarding Party. I want to say 2 Warwitch Sirens maybe. I think there was something else, but I can't remember what it was. I dropped Damiano into it. So we had Damiano, Rocinante, Steelhead Halberdiers, Steelhead Cav, Nis Hunters, There might have been something else, but if it was like a solo, maybe like Rupert. Yeah, I think Rupert was in there. Had a good fun game. It got to the point where Ed got really desperate and set overrun on Mortenebra herself, went charging into Rupert, murdered him, bounced off Rupert, went into Damiano. Damiano at this point was 17-18 because he was within Surefoot that was on Rocinante, and he was camping 2. So Mortenebra basically had 3 or 4 fully boosted attacks, but at dice -6, she sadly, basically, Ed's dice deserted him and she failed to kill me. At which point Rocinante smacked her once, and then Damiano knifed her to finish. So that was a good game. Like I said, it was a bit here and there. I could have easily lost if I'd made any other silly decisions, but Ed went for it. It was a little unfortunate he didn't win, didn't assassinate me, but the odds were a little bit stacked against him. One memorable bit was there was a slap fight between one of the Warwitch Sirens and Selena. She failed to kill Selena with a spray, corroded her, so she had like 2 hit points left. Serena got really annoyed. This was after she'd missed with a previous charge attack, charged again and quad 6 on damage. So that went rather badly for that particular Siren. And then in the evening there was the keynote, which is obviously out on YouTube by now, and you've all probably seen it. To be honest, I'm actually quite excited to go back to playing with Circle, mostly because I like the idea of a giant lightning bird. I don't really care about its rules, but that's the sort of player I am. I like doing the odd competitive game here and there, as evidenced by my foolish desire to sign up for Iron Gauntlet. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I think the fact that all of the Horde's factions, bar kind of trolls, well that's kind of the troll's design ethic, means that obviously everything's a troll of some sort. It's really good to see that each of the factions has a new, or the other 3 factions have a new beast. I'm very intrigued to see what's going on with the 10 years of Hordes, which will be next year, end of this year, beginning of next year. Hopefully we'll find out more at Lock and Load. Fingers crossed. There were some great images that flashed up at the end of the video. There's lots of speculation on the forums about what they may or may not be. Other stuff, I went into the store as well on the Friday. I managed to procure a Blighted Bather, Morris on pre-release. I got myself Una the Falconer because, we have a new Gargantuan that's going to have flight, so why not get a bit overexcited. And Gobber Drudges, because they're gobbers and they're drudges, and they look cool. I also went a bit silly and got myself some pins, which may or may not come out very well on the screen. No, it's not going to come up very well. Basically, I got myself a Merc pin, a Circle Orbrus pin, a Highborn Covenant pin, and just the Privateer Press symbol pin. So Saturday, went and played. I played 2 rounds of Iron Gauntlet in the morning. The end score I don't think was anywhere near as didn't show how difficult the games were. I think the first game I dropped Damiano into Prime Scar. Don't think it was a mistake, but I think that my execution of the game was flawed. Essentially, I let myself get jammed by raiders. That running 16 inches, and then I just rolled terribly to kill them. The other guy, basically, fair play to him, I think it was Anders. I don't want to insult him by saying the wrong country that he was from, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the sort of Scandinavian sort of area. I hope I'm right with that. But he was really nice, really polite, nice guy to play with. But basically, I just couldn't chew through the recursion aspect with the Mechanothralls. It was just too big. But I did stall him quite a bit. I got him down to, I think it was about 6 or 7 minutes on his time before he won on control points. Basically, that had got to my plan. When he got to around about 12 minutes, I thought I'm going to have to stall him out. It's not the best way to win a game, but it is a way to win. Second round, got paired against a guy called, I can't remember his exact name, but introduced himself as Wolf, or Wolfie, I think. Again, really nice guy. He was running 3 K-Door lists, Butcher, Butcher and Butcher. So I ended up dropping my Ostrom double Colossal list into Butcher, Claws of the Dragon. Best decision all weekend. So yeah, that went as expected. Sadly, I almost won. He on feet turn got some Black Dragon Iron Fangs and some Ulans into the Galleon, wrecked it. Failed to do much on my Earthbreaker because I had defeated, so it's up to armor 22. It then basically unloaded everything into Butcher, knocked him over. I think I had 4 gunshots in total. So I got into my last 2 shots. Butcher was on 4 health, which I'm going to dice -7 due to his camp, and basically couldn't crack armor. You know, I needed 2 points of damage on each roll, so average dice should have killed him. Didn't happen, never mind, that's the way it goes. It's a dice game. Again, nice guy to play against, very friendly, good laugh. I even spoke to him actually after round 3, just to see how he'd fared, and he played against, I think it was Resident 2, he's a nice guy. At that point in round 3 I ended up with a bye, because loads of people dropped, which to be honest was my only major disappointment with the Iron Gauntlet. I think I spoke to the PG and basically like 17 people dropped after round 1, which was, in my opinion, really disappointing. You know, you signed up to this event. I guess, you know, there are some that will say, well, you know, I want to do stuff with the rest of my day. It's fair enough, but it just doesn't sit right with me. But that's just obviously my personal opinion on the matter. It meant we got to round 4, and there was basically going to end up being another bye in round 4. So I went and spoke to the PGs running it, and I said, look, you know, I've already had a bye. I've basically sat down and sat out for 3 hours. Haven't done anything. You know, I've sort of lost the sort of the mood, the will to carry on, sort of thing with the game. Sorry, not with the game. That's, you know, just there's no point. Don't drop someone else into a bye in the last round when they've played potentially already for 3 rounds. So I said, you know, drop me out if there's no spares. So fair enough. I went up and messed about in the Iron Arena. So on Friday evening I also went to the Iron Arena. Was very, very tired, and then managed to counter assassinate Kalisa. Again, using Forceful Tier. I've played that list twice. Different Jack setup at least, but I've played that tier list twice this weekend so far. Kalisa failed to assassinate Damiano, so Galleon dragged her in, pimp slapped her a bit, and then Damiano went and shanked her, I think. No, Rocinante went and stabbed her for the win. Anyway, sorry, back on Saturday, went and did some more Iron Arena, basically against Sammy. He didn't bring any models with him, so I let him borrow my Mercs. So he was using Magnus tier 4, against a Damiano list I sort of threw together, but threw together in quite a good way. Basically, Sammy was after the Iron Arena points, so he went with the tier 4 Prime Magnus. Obviously Damiano doesn't have purification, so Magnus doesn't cry, at least not too much. Obviously Sammy's not au fait with Mercs. You know, he knows what I play, and he's, you know, heard me ramble often enough about their tactics and their stuff, but it's obviously very different when you get models on the table. It did come down to basically, I think, 1 dice roll. I'd foolishly forgotten how ridiculously long the threat range of the Galleon is with snipe on it. However, Damiano was sat within shortcut range of Snapjaw, and basically Sammy missed. So Sammy's list running at tier 4 at 50 points. You've got Magnus, Galleon, Double Renegade, Stannis, Max Cav, Max Halberdiers, Saxon Auric, Gorman de Wolf, and Saxon. There are 2 points spare, but we didn't have a painted solo, and we didn't really want to go outside the fully painted thing, because obviously you get more points for Iron Arena fully painted. So I dropped that into Damiano, Rocinante, Silas, Max Nis Hunters, 2 units of Eliminators, Iona and Holt, Rupert Carvolo, Wrong Eye Snapjaw, Ball Snapper. It's basically, having discovered in my first Iron Gauntlet game, against P Scar, dropping in the sure-footed Nis is just a thing of beauty to behold. Not so good against that particular Merc list because obviously AoEs. That said, the AoE. Oh, sorry, Alexia was in the list as well. Both the Renegades managed to take out. It's reduced Holt to 1 hit point and kill Alexia. So that was a sterling use of Alexia by my part, given she died, I think, on top of turn 2. So yeah, that was some great manoeuvring. Basically, Sammy did enough damage that I just didn't bother sacking any Risen. Just get rid of Alexia, and then I'll have a unit of 9 things that just wander around and get in the way.
yeah, that game went. Basically, I was able to trim out the Cav and the Halberdiers with a combination of Deadeye, Weapon Master Melee, this sort of thing, and then basically got like 5 or 6 Nis into Magnus on Damiani's feet turn. So I think 2 of them, between them, killed him, which is not unexpected. But I think at that point it was, again, it's knowing your faction. You know, Sammy knows Convergence because he plays them. You know, he spent enough time theory crafting them. He knows what they do. But it's very different. Say if I was to then pick up his army and try and play with it, you know, you get your synergies wrong. You play stuff the wrong way round. That's how it goes. But no, it was a good fun game anyway. And to be honest, I haven't actually had a chance to play much against Sammy outside of High Command, other than that kicking he gave me with Lucan. But that's Lucan. But give Sammy his dues, he knew what he was doing with Lucan. Kicked the absolute crap out of me in that game. That was a Mangled Metal event a few months ago. So yeah, that was basically my Friday and Saturday. It is now 7:30. I'm in the room. I'm considering going back down at some point just to mess about in the Iron Arena. I am PGing tomorrow, the last gasp. So we'll see how many people turn up to that and play for the entire event. Other than that, yeah, hopefully I will give an update. Well, actually, probably not now in the room, probably not until I get home on Sunday evening. Maybe not till Monday morning, and I'll film that, and then I'll try and get this up on YouTube as soon as possible. It may be that this is coming out reasonably, maybe a month or so after SmogCon, because at the moment I have just moved house, and my computer is in boxes, in a room that's in boxes, that's just full of stuff. So it may be that this video is a little bit delayed. But I've had fun so far. I think definitely next year if I do come back, I think I'll try and hit more of the casual sort of things. Maybe not even, maybe a tournament, maybe not, I don't know. I think I'll just have to wait and I'll see how I feel really close to the time. I am very tempted though to, after we've got an April team event, to go back maybe to Circle for a little while, just because I've owned most of the faction and I haven't really played too much with them at the moment, so I might go and have a bit of a mess about, see how they are at the moment. Okay, so that's me done. That's my Saturday update. Right, guys, this is my Sunday update, I guess, from SmogCon. It's been a few days. I've recovered a bit more, had a bit more sleep, come back home. So handled my Sunday and even my Saturday evening go. Saturday evening, I had a pop down in the Iron Arena, had a game with one of the other PGs called Alex, who PGs out of Hastings. We've met in person a couple of times at other events. We've never actually played a game, I don't think, against each other, so we thought, you know, why not, let's actually have a game. I've dropped P Magnus again with the painted tier, just for the extra Iron Arena points. I think he dropped in Directrix. I think, yeah, if I remember how it went, and because Magnus's tier is really fast on the halfway line, pretty much at the end of turn 1, I was able to stall him with my Halberdiers and my Cav, and basically just jam up his lines. I think I didn't quite win on control points in the end. I think I'd gotten up to about 3, and he needed to get in there and start me scoring. I think playing close quarters, so we got the 2 flags. And then what ended up happening was he tried to get Directrix in close to throw an assassination at Magnus. He failed, and then in my turn Magnus basically moved out of the way, and the Galleon charged Directrix and just pummeled up. Good fun game again. I actually did a 30-minute death clock for a laugh, although actually I completely and utterly forgot to put my death clock on during my deployment, so I think actually I probably should have timed out. But you know, it was Iron Arena, it's supposed to be casual, it's supposed to be a mess about, it's supposed to be a laugh. That basically was my Saturday evening. Other than that, I think I just went back to the Remedies in early night because I was PGing the next day. So we got to Sunday, discovered that the other PG that was meant to be last gasping with me wasn't available. I'm not sure why, I'm not sure if he just didn't end up attending SmogCon or what happened. So I ended up actually PGing with Alex, which was good, because again it was nice to do a PGing together with someone I already sort of knew. So we were PGing the last gasp, and it's a 16-player event. It had plaques, so we had a first, second and third plaque with a bronze, silver and gold die. for each of the winners. We also got given something called Bob Dollars, which basically a £10 voucher for the PP store there. We got given, like, I think it was 10 or something, it might have been a few more than that of those. And we got some widget sets, so we had like 3 Hordes widget sets and 3 War Machine widget sets. Just give out spot prizes as we're going through the day. So we ended up with only about 4 of the official players turn up and sign in. So in the end we put a call out on Twitter, sort of one of the other PGs wandered around with a plaque saying, look, you can win this, look, you can win this. I think that was PG Pank, but I'm really sorry if I got that wrong. In the end we ended up with our 16 players, which is good. So we forged ahead with the event. We had 2 drops during the event. I think one guy dropped after round 3, basically get the pack up and go home. Another guy dropped, again, I think at the end of round 3, to stop someone. I'm not sure if it was to stop someone having a buy, or if I think he said he wasn't comfortable with the lists he was running. Because what we did was, it was 2 35-point lists. And we actually said no divide and conquer, so if you want to bring 2 lists and just play one of them, go for it, you know, do whatever you want. So I think we ended up giving out all these various vouchers and widgets and stuff for the event. A couple of my favourite things that happened. One guy turned up, he was really hungover, but he was like, no, I'm going to come in, I'm going to have a laugh, I'm going to drop Old Witch and Strakov as my pairing. His only armour cracking, I think, was Behemoth in the Old Witch list. I think it was in the Old Witch list. But he was so hungover during round 1, I actually went and gave him, I can't remember if it was one of the vouchers or one of the widget sets, I basically gave him a spot prize for having to fight through his own personal fog of war, just because it seemed an appropriate thing to do. I have one of the troll players, Jay, who I think plays out of Taylorn, gave him one for basically going massively balls out with Grim 2 and getting stood right in front of his entire army to try and sort of, you know, engineer a brilliant next turn. Unfortunately, Xerxes 1 went charging in and smacked him into a dart troll. That said, managed to pass 2 tough rolls, and Xerxes only managed to assassinate him and eventually left with 1 fury. So if it had gone a little, you know, if he'd spent a bit more of that fury, if it had gone a little other way, Jay might have been sitting pretty with Xerxes right in front of his caster and in most of his army. The overall winner was running Gorshade 3 Incorporeal Spam as his own list, actually. He was a very nice guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I think he was one of the Irish guys. Really nice. He actually made a bit of an error. Well, he and his opponent made an error during one of the I think it was round 2. Basically, we're giving out one of these £10 vouchers for fastest assassination every round. He accidentally used Gorshade's feat to assassinate a model that was already immune to cold. I think it was Vale 1. So we gave out this voucher for fastest assassination. I realised about 20 seconds after I walked away from the table, hang on, doesn't his feet work on cold, isn't she immune to it? So I walked back to the table. Sadly, they'd already moved all their models away. So we called it. The guy said he didn't mind, you know, taking the loss. He'd forgotten about her immunity cold. No big deal. And then one of the best acts I saw during the entire weekend, sportsmanship-wise, the guy who had the £10 assassination voucher handed it over to his opponent. You know, you can't get any better than that, basically. It was brilliant. You know, I've not seen something quite that sportsmanlike, which again is just indicative of the community of War Machine and Hordes. Everyone's there to have a laugh, everyone's there to play a game and have some fun. You know, no one's there to pummel, well, some people might be, but most people aren't there to just pummel their opponent into the dirt. You know, it's supposed to be a laugh, it's supposed to be fun, it's a hobby everyone's supposed to enjoy. Got a chat with some of the other guys between breaks, between rounds. I want to give a shout out to Simon Adicott, who's one of the Aussies who was actually over for it. Really nice guy, he was a circle player, so I've got a little bit of a soft spot for him. He ended up leaving one of his, we found one really nicely painted army, we found one of his druids under a table after he'd left. I believe though, he wasn't leaving the UK for a few days, so hopefully he'll have gotten that back. There's also another guy whose name escapes me off the top of my head, but he was one of the Northerners. He was really nice. I think it's from Newcastle, that springs to mind. Running Convergence, really new to the game, but he come in, he had a brilliant attitude, he was there for a laugh. You know, I mean, I think he got pummeled game after game after game in all 4 rounds, but he was enjoying himself. You know, he was there to have fun. You know, what more can you say? the top table in the end, sorry, the top table, the top three, I guess, is probably the best way of putting it. We had a Lucan player running a convergence list, running under Lucan, and that was his only list. I think he had Prime Axiom, Reciprocators, I believe it is, the medium-based guys, the Soul Foundry thing, and there's probably some more in there, but I can't remember what else. He came third. Second was a epic like Lilith 2, and what was it the list he was running on? I want to say Veil 1 pairing, who basically took Veil 1 during all the rounds until he got to the final round where he took Epic Lilith, and just utterly decimated the Gaucher player. Unfortunately, he then got assassinated, but he'd pretty much taken the entire game away from the Gaucher player, and he had to go on a desperate last minute go, which meant that the Gaucher player was the winner, running Gaucher 3. Again, like I said, nice guy. Very intense game actually. I think both of them are, I got the impression, and I think I heard them talking about, I think they're both on various actually competitive teams, so I think they were treating it very much as almost as a practice or a dry run for something, which is a bit different to most of the other players there, who are clearly there to just have a laugh and a tit about. They weren't there to do anything massively serious, but horses for courses, everyone plays games for different reasons, everyone goes into tournaments for different reasons, whether that be they just want the experience, doing it for a laugh to see how their game itself compares to other people, who knows, that's the way it goes, different people play different things. That was basically my Sunday, and then I helped pack down, so I forced Sammy to help because obviously I was giving him a lift home, and basically we were there helping John and the others pack up, which actually meant I got to spend some time with some of the PGs. I hadn't really had a chance to talk to. I think I got to speak to Mr. Chon, very nice guy. Obviously, I think he'd been on the Iron Arena desk or PG for pretty much the entire event, which I think basically has led me to think that maybe next year I'll do at least 2 shifts, like two events, maybe even more. I don't know at the moment. I'll see how it goes. It did mean I got my staff lanyard finally about an hour before the event ended, because someone noticed I was wearing a PG shirt and a guest one, and went, "Hang on, why haven't you got a staff lanyard?" And I said, I assume they were all gone, but never mind. So he went, "Well, do you want one now?" Of course I do. So, staff lanyard. All I can say about SmogCon is I definitely want to go back next year. As long as I can financially afford it, definitely want to go next year. Problem at the moment, obviously, just moved house, got a daughter, got a wife. There's other things that are more priority, but if I can afford it, I definitely want to go back to SmogCon next year. I definitely want to hit up more of the casual areas. I enjoyed the High Command I played a few games of. So yeah, it was a great laugh. I ended up spending my Iron Arena points on I think like a measuring widget and various dice and stuff. That was about it. So I was like one off being able to get a war template, and the stuff started selling out on Sunday. Sammy got an amazing bit of artwork, a bit of the line artwork of the 2 twins from Legion, lovely. Mostly because he was saving up for a Directrix print, but then someone bought it out from under him. But yeah, it was an incredible event. All kudos to John and everyone else behind the scenes who spent basically their entire weekend helping other people out and running stuff. I'm definitely up for doing more taking part next year, basically, as far as PGing goes. I think this year I'd kind of assumed there were going to be enough PGs, which is probably my fault really. You know what they say about assuming. I kind of thought, well, if I do at least one tournament, then there's going to be other people balance out to do everything else. We're a little bit short, so I think maybe that's. I'm definitely going to throw my hat in the ring a bit more next year. I'm definitely up for going again. Who knows? I'll probably be back to running Circle, although Mercs are still my baby. So that was basically my quick rundown of what I did at SmogCon. I had a laugh. Pretty sure that Sammy and Adam, who are 2 guys from sort of my meta, are well up for going again next year. We met some of the guys from further inland, so sort of Maidstone, Barming way. They're well up for it again next year. So yeah, I think you know, we met some people there that we recognise from various other events we've been to as well, so it was nice to catch up with them. It was nice to meet some new people, sort of get along with them, especially some of like the Europeans, or, you know, even, like I said, one guy from Oz, one guy from, I think it was Newcastle. You know, again, it's meeting these, you know, new people that I haven't met before. And to be honest, because I don't travel that much for Warmer Hordes, I probably won't see again, you know, for at least 5 years or whatever, unless I see them at SmogCon. So it was nice to see these people and see how games are played, and the attitudes of the community are very similar regardless of where you go. Everyone's very, very keen on the game. At the same time, they're very keen on, you know, sportsmanship and going through with their opponent, making sure everything's played fairly. It's a brilliant atmosphere to be in, and I'm definitely up for it more again next year. So, just Scapegoat Stephen saying goodbye with my SmogCon report.